Good morning, everyone. The GES is here for the third year already, and we are starting the day with one of my friends, Charu, who is supporting us from the beginning with Women Lines, and I'm so happy to have her here with us in the studio. Just a little bit of administration. You can watch these streams on YouTube, Facebook, and also on LinkedIn. Please make sure you are playing the game that we started with the support of Shiv, because it will go all the way until 5 weeks, and you can answer the questions, and there will be very big, nice awards at the end. So, hi, Charu. I just want to say hi to you. How are you today?
I'm good. Congratulations for coming up with such a fantastic summit, and I wish you all the best. And thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. And Arjan is here with us. We always have some very hard supporters. Last year it was Simpong. This year is Arjan. Arjan, I'm so happy to have you here. So, Charu, about your morning, let's just warm up until people are joining us. How are your mornings going? How do you take care of yourself? What did you do this morning to be fresh to this interview in a Saturday morning?
Oh, it was Saturday. Definitely, I was relaxed because the kids were at home, and then the planning was I always sit for my journaling in morning. So that is something which I always do, whether it's weekend, because it gives me a hold of the day and a hold of myself, like how I will be spending the day and what's the plan for the day, and some gratitude pointers. It has been a journey with now I am able to develop this habit, but now I'm addicted. So yes, I was with my journal and I was planning things, what I'm going to share, and yeah, I'm set for the day.
Are you a cafe fan? Do you like cafe? Do you need a cafe to kickstart your day?
Definitely, I had my lovely Nescafe coffee with cup with me and my lovely cookies. That's must for me to start my day. So yeah, that helps me to begin my day with a positive note.
What about some sports? Do you do morning sports activities?
I'm more into yoga. Sports is walking for me both. I mean, the play time with playing with kids sometimes, badminton, table tennis sometimes happening, but more into yoga. I love yoga. Picking up yoga from experts and having my own schedule as per my body requirements because everybody is different. So I always share that. Just see what can suit you. So I have developed a routine stretches for myself, which I am addicted again, like my journaling habit, and I always sit for that. And walks are something I love to go on beach. So yeah, these two things are really important for me.
I love it. I love it. I love people who are taking care of their body because, we all believe in the same, right? That without our body and health, we cannot really go far. So that's the first thing to care about.
Definitely. The personal health, physical health, mindset health, there's so many things to take care of. And as an entrepreneur, as a mother, as other roles I'm playing, I have to really be mindful how I'm taking care for myself because then only I can justify my other roles. So all these activities help me a lot in balancing myself. So I consider it very important as part of my routine.
I love it. And I love that you are not just caring about yourself, but you are caring about so many women by managing your Women Lines magazine. And I would like to ask you to introduce yourself a little bit, like where are you coming from, your story, and how you started Women Lines before we start our official topic.
Thank you so much. Women Lines is my passionate dream venture, Andrea. I'm an entrepreneur for last 12, 13 years now, and my previous ventures I was having my events company, I was having a clothing company to start with in Singapore, and I was having a software company, but in between I was cooking up this idea of having an online media just promoting excellence in business, health, and leadership for women. Somehow it was there in my mind because I was always inspired from women around me who were entrepreneurs and who were balancing their personal life and their professional life. But there were certain women who were not able to do that. They were having talents, but they were not able to carry their passion and talents because of the limited resources and limited knowledge. And I always wondered, what if they have that knowledge and mindset? They can really make their life much better and live life with excellence. So when I find that, in fact, my whole entrepreneur journey, as I will be sharing further when we'll be having the discussion on the topic, how to use digital media, that journey helped me to navigate the digital world for my excellence. And I found out that certain amount of knowledge is there which is not reaching to women's segment because they are so busy to explore it. I was trying my I was working on digital media, I was carrying my business on digital media. That's why I was focusing on my personal growth through digital media. But that is transformational, and that can help so many women across the globe. So as I have a background of mass communications, I have done my post graduation in mass communications. So that journalist in me was always within me and always searching about those skills and those knowledge nuggets which can help me to excel in my life. And Women Life was born 3 years back with the idea of having all types of media, whether it's video, article, content, podcast, at one place, having experts from across the globe who are sharing their exclusive knowledge with us, and we are sharing with our subscribers, and we're not charging anything for that. And the services which you are providing is the content marketing for any product service which needs any visibility to grow online visibility through our magazine. So I'm so proud to say that today we are in top 60. We are on the 43 top women online global magazines. And this week we have got the first page position. In fact, we're at the top when you write online women online magazines or women's magazine online, all these keywords, the listing of the magazines is coming. We are there on the top on the Google page.
Hey,
So
congratulations.
so it has been a journey, and I really want to create as many women leaders across the globe because I strongly believe that every woman on this planet is blessed with some power. And she can only use this power if she's empowered with the right mindset and the right knowledge. And she's a multitasker. She needs that media, that content which can help her to grow. And unfortunately, I don't find that media which is just focused for women only. So that's why I got Women Lines, and we are expanding, we are growing across the globe. We are having so many women uh, influencers, and they are sharing their content for health, for leadership, for business excellence. And my intention is, and my mission is, we together can work. We have many women leaders, and we make our planet a better place to live.
I love it. I love the vision behind and how passionate you are. I think that what is moving us forward. So we will get into the topic, but before I do that, I just want to greet all the viewers who are already tuning in. So I want to say hi to Alchan, Jag. I want to say hi to Stephen, to Gita. Gita is also here for you to support. So I'm really, really happy to have you here, guys. And let's get into our topic. So today's topic with Charu is how to use digital media for personal and professional growth. And I think it's all of us is on this journey, right? Because we are all entrepreneurs and we want to be visible, but it's really hard today. So my first question would be where to start, because it's so noisy in the online world. It's just so many things happening. So how can be people more visible, and how can they use this digital media to be more successful?
Wonderful question. And yes, it's always close to my heart because my journey has been through digital media, as I shared with you. And as I shared that, I was always inspired by women entrepreneurs, and I started Women Lines specifically for women. Two quotes in my life I have read, which has impacted me a lot, Andrea. If my mind can conceive, my heart can believe I can achieve it. And the other quote is, if you don't build your dreams, somebody will hire you to build their dreams. Somehow, when I read it for the first time, it impacted, it had an impact on me, and the seeds were there that it's such a beautiful power which every human is having. And we are not able to use that power because of this noise which you have just mentioned. It is so noisy. We are opening newspaper, we are reading negative news, we are listening to news, we are listening to negative news. In fact, we are gathering, we are talking about what's missing in life. Inflation, recession, my goodness. Somehow I feel so bad for this millennial generation that they are under so much pressure, so much negativity. How they can build that enthusiasm which we want to talk about, which we have built up with experience, with learning, and believing the human capability that as humans we are having enough skills to build up and achieve our dreams. So that was the idea, and how to use digital media is a fantastic mode, because digital media is having so many things which you can use for your personal excellence. Concept of developing leadership skills, emotional intelligence was so powerful for me, because when I was carrying my journey on digital media, these two skills helped me a lot. Emotional intelligence is a powerful tool which you can help use throughout the day to manage yourself. So the idea is for personal management and personal mastery through digital media. And once you start thinking about that, you will be mindful about using your time mindfully. I always say there are 1440 minutes a day. Have you thought about it? How you are managing your minutes throughout the day? We spend get up, we spend the time in some routine, we go for work, we meet friends, we talk. But the one magic of 1440 minutes can be so powerful if you are using it mindfully. So once you start thinking as how you're using. So, first of all, get clarity about how you are using your time. So, for that, as the we discussed, like we are going to talk about the personal transformation and professional transformation. So, this personal transformation journey starts with that. So, for this question, I will start with this step. Start thinking about your time management skills. Are
Okay,
you
time management. Where to start? When people wanna schedule their day, when people wanna be very organized, and we talk a lot about time management. But what are the practical tips? What are those things that people can apply today? Like how do you do it? Like give us some tips about time management.
will love to? Planner. I will show my planner. It's always with me. There are digital planners who are friendly with digital planners. They should do digital planners. But I am in love with my hard copy planner. I first thing I buy when the year starts is a planner with the big boxes for every day. And the first thing when I sit for my journaling, the next step is what is my day going to be? And this habit is inculcated with practice only, because as we practice for taking care of health, as we practice for taking care of the nutrition, we have to practice the taking care of the day, because time is currency and energy is currency throughout the day. Therefore, start having habit of building up your day, planning your day by writing down how you're going to spend the day and where you are spending your energy. Once you start thinking all these points, it's magical. It helps you to get hold of yourself and your day, and then the habits can develop to use your day a better way.
I really love the idea because I'm also stuck. I don't really like to be on the computer all the time. And I really love the idea to have the planner itself in a journal or in something that you can write. And whenever you have an idea, you can just take a day and you just write, okay, this will be the post for this day, or this is inspired by someone. And then you put it somewhere already. Yeah, it's a really good idea. So, guys out there who are listening to us, please make sure you take this into consideration. If you are talking or planning about your digital media content, you can use also an actual physical planner. Very nice idea.
My
So,
pleasure.
after time management, what's the next step around helping your personal and professional growth with digital media?
Sure. I will start with the personal transformation, personal growth first. So, personal growth happens only when you are having clarity about yourself. So once you are having that clarity by reworking, unlearning the beliefs which you had from the beginning, creating that awareness about yourself, and how it happens once you start listening to the right influencers and right motivational speakers. So for myself, I will give example how it started when I was having my journey for my entrepreneurship. When I was running my other ventures, there were so many challenges I was facing, and during that time, and I will highlight that I don't have a business degree with me. I don't have a business background, but I am into business. So how I will lead a business setup if I'm not having the right skills. So then digital media only helped me. I just poured myself in learning the right skills and the right attitude and the right thinking, mindset, everything through digital media. It took time. It has been 13, 14 years now. I'm in this journey. And I'm still a student. I love to say be a student forever in life. You will be very
Forever and ever.
You'll be really very happy because there's something to learn. Technology is changing. Every day some new update is coming for my business. I have to keep myself updated. The first thing I started when I started listening to people like Tony Robbins, Nick Vujicic, Simon Sinek. Simon Sinek's video, Know Your Why, is a beautiful video. If you have not heard, do check out, because that will help you to understand the importance of why it is important to know your why in this world, and that will help you to get that clarity. Even Sadhguru, I love Sadhguru's videos sometimes because they are so transformational, and it impacts a lot about you when you hear and apply it in your life. It helps a lot. So the journey started from there. When you start using the knowledge, listening to knowledge and applying, I always say knowledge is power, but applying knowledge is superpower,
Yes. Yes.
because that's the golden nugget. I always believe it's overwhelming. People say how much to listen, there's so much to read, so many people to hear, but I say you be selective. Don't overwhelm yourself. Be selective. Pick out top 10. There are so many websites which have listed the top 10 speakers. Pick up top 2, maybe start from there, but be consistent. The idea is to be consistent and persistence for your personal development journey. Then only it can be helpful to you. And whatever you're learning, you have to apply. So when I was going through that journey and I was self-navigating, what is for me? Why this never went worked for me? I have to start again, and then something has come up again. Then now I think that I connect the dots. That Steve Jobs loved that statement, that I can connect the dots because that journey only helped me to navigate myself, my why, and understanding myself. So, first step is understand, have clarity about your vision, what you want, what is itching you. My itch was from my childhood that why women are not there as leaders across. I think those seeds helped that. Those seeds were helping in growing, and then that idea of having a media just for women and working with the collaborating with global women. Now I am reaching out so many countries across the globe. So I think it starts with a seed, which you sow when you start this journey, and know your why, understand yourself. The first step is to have that clarity for yourself. So
Like
start.
Arjun is saying, understanding your why.
Yes.
Yes. So I really love this point. Again, let's summarize. So basically, it's what you're saying is very good to be consistent and then not to choose and skip and jump to each and every different things online. But for example, choose one community to belong to, but be there 100%. Choose
Very
one
true.
or two motivational speakers and follow them all throughout their channels, right? You don't have
Very
to listen to 1,000 podcasts, but you choose one podcast, listen for a year. And if you are want something new, then you again choose something else. So you read a book and you make a note and you apply the knowledge what you learned from that book, right?
I agree, certainly, because you see, we have 24 hours, as I say, 1440 minutes. And I'm saying that use digital media to for your personal and professional growth. So people say, how you expect us to be on digital media whole day? It cannot be. I will never say that. Please never do that, because we have to be mindful about our time spent with social media. Mental health is a big issue in present times. So we have to take care of all things, and that balance can only come if you are seriously taking your personal journey seriously. So believe me, once you start journaling, once you start thinking about your self growth, you will get clarity, and takes step at a time. Books, as you mentioned, books are the other, I always say books are the best friends. And we are blessed with technology, with apps now which are sharing the crux of the book, like what main learning is there in this book. They're able to save your time. You don't have to read whole book. You can just walk and listen to the audio part. There are audibles, and there's so many other. Headway is a wonderful app I came across, which is on subscription basis, but it is sharing the nuggets of the book. And
Can you
when
mention one more time the
Headway,
application?
Headway is one app which is
Way.
subscribe.
Okay.
Yeah, Headway, and then we have Audible. The website is there, which you can be part of, subscribe, and then you can listen to books. And best part is that you can listen anytime. You're waiting in a queue, you listen to books. You are uh, walking on for your walks. On your walks, you can listen to it. So use again, I say time management is the key. So for personal excellence, which time you are putting? I use my Bluetooth during cooking also. My family always is wondering what you are doing with the Bluetooth when you are cooking. They don't have understanding that I am learning. Sometimes I'm learning about content marketing. Sometimes I'm cooking and learning about the new trend which is having in my digital marketing field. So I'm just sharing, like, the time management is possible only if you are alert about how you're managing your time whole day. And
Thing. I really love it. I just show my journal so that people see how I keep up my.
that's right.
So you know my personality. You look at my journal, right?
Oh, it has to be like that.
Cannot be anywhere else.
Love
It's so
it.
nice to talk to you, Charu. And one more time, Charu is from Women Lines, and she's with us for the Global Empowerment Hub for 3 years now. And I'm really happy to have her with us for so long. And thank you so much for the support. And we are talking about how to use digital media for your personal and professional growth.
Correct.
So we have in the audience Krishan, Elchan, we have Stephen, we have Mina. So welcome and good
For being
morning,
there.
Vita. So nice to have you all here. And we talked about the personal growth part, and now we are going and adventuring into the other side, the professional growth. So tell us a little bit more about that, so that we can also cover that one. How can you use digital media for your professional growth?
Before that, just two nuggets I would love to share about the personal growth. Do check out how you are taking care of health. The health transformation can be taken care better way if you are informing yourself by listening to the right influencers on social media. Motivational Doc is one channel, YouTube channel. Dr. Mendel is sharing wonderful information on that that can help you to take care of your health much better way. And same way, there's a gold mine of alternative therapies, alternative medicines. Always make sure that you are following some exercise, some routine, and learn from all these experts. Be choosy, see the credentials, because now it is overwhelming over social media. There are so many experts. So make sure you're following the right person. But yes, have that vision that you can achieve your balance of health, and it can help you to lead your day much better way. And yeah, personal development is something I always highlight, the chapters which we learned during our moral science chapters in school. We never know that those are the chapters which we have to apply in our life. So now when you listen to all these influencers like Deepak Chopra, Robin Sharma, I want to share these names because these are some people who are sharing information for free. Mel Robbins, her 5 minutes video on 5 minutes to get back to your you take just 5 minutes to overcome the challenges you're facing. Do listen to that video because that can help you to fight your challenges. So the point is that there's so much information, and once you adapt to the right information, get the right information, it can help you in your personal excellence journey. So all those more science chapters: growth mindset, empathy, persistence, patience, humility, resilience, kindness. I'm telling you, these are not only chapter names, these are the life skills which real help in real life to grow and fight challenges in life. So just revise those chapters, and all these speakers are sharing amazing knowledge. Oprah Winfrey is my other favorite. Ariana
Oh,
Huffington is my other favorite. I can list out. I mean, this session I can day whole day because there's so much to share. Like journey has been through digital, and I have learned a lot. So yes, other thing I also want to highlight how you're managing your idle time when you're like exercising or commuting or showing up your meetings. You have to just organize yourself in ways. Use that time by having the ready access to all these maybe podcast or some blog. But have the listing with you so that you can use that idle time. Don't let it go, don't let it face. And yeah, that
I
way.
started to listen to things in when I'm traveling with the here in Asia. It's Grab, so we just sit into the car and getting to our destinations, and then during that time, I can listen to some podcast or anything in the car.
Very true. All these things can really help to manage your time and help you in your personal growth journey. So now comes the professional journey. So professional journey, again, identify your goals first, know your platforms where you have to show up, build a network, join the conversation, and never stop learning. These are the main basic nuggets which I want to share today. So you have to grow your network. Cross geographies, I always say, LinkedIn is the best platform in present time where you can cross geographies and grow your network professionally. The effort is searching out where you want to grow, which network you want to grow. If you are dealing, for me, like it was digital marketing, I started with the experts who are experts in these fields and I started following them because not only the top speakers, all these top influencers on LinkedIn, they are also sharing amazing content which can help you to grow professionally in your field. I have learned a lot from listening to all these influencers from LinkedIn. I always pick the top influencers. We get the listing on internet, and then I started following. Start engaging with them. So that is the other nugget I want to say. Just don't be a silent watcher. Just don't be a mute watcher. You have to be participative in this journey. Show empathy, and the comments you have to engage with time because you cannot be just like it's a great post or something. You have to engage with the post. You have to share your personal comments in detailed way, like what have you grasped from their learning, because that will show that you are a human, that will show that you are connected, because as human we have to connect with each other. So this is one way I always recommend: be active in engagement over LinkedIn. And LinkedIn can really help you to grow your network and cross the geographies. Don't be limited in within your geography because world is big and you can reach out through LinkedIn anywhere in the world. That's beautiful.
You
This
can see the summit. I mean, all the speakers, they are mostly every year like 30 to 40 countries, and all of the speakers are resourced on LinkedIn. I reached out to all of you via LinkedIn, and
the
this
Global
has been
Empowerment
really
Summit
yes.
is the example, is the real example that things are happening. So, what is required to break your comfort zone and to be open enough to work together, to collaborate together, and work together with other people from other geographies and have trust. As a human, we need to have trust, and it is not always what's for me. It won't be happening if you're collaborating that you will get the benefit at that time only. Always have a big picture in your vision because whatever help you have given, you will certainly get back some point of life. So don't be selfish, like what's in for me, then only I will collaborate. Think of the big vision and then work together with like-minded people, network with like-minded people, join the groups. LinkedIn has having groups, Facebook is having groups. So join those groups that can help you to grow your network professionally for your field. So LinkedIn, I highly recommend everybody collaborate with the bigger vision. And LinkedIn should not be just used for job finding. It has to use as career management tool. So always remember that. Now comes the personal branding. Digital media can really help you to voice your expertise, what field you are expert, and help you to establish as an expert in your field. But the requirement is you have to be active in contributing in digital media in the form of articles, in the form of YouTubes. If you are comfortable to speak, start your channel, start speaking about what topic you're passionate. Well, I remember 3 years back when I started YouTube channel for Women Lies, and I was so afraid what I'm doing. Is it the right thing I'm doing? But somehow I wanted to speak and I wanted to speak something for women. I just started. I was not aware about the branding that time because I learned very later, like we have to be very careful about the lights, about what's there at the background. And there's so many other stuff you have to be careful. But as I started the journey, I learned later. But that point of time, I was hardly aware about things. But something was calling me up and I just persisted. I didn't know I have to do this. And when I see those videos now, I laugh at myself, but I'm happy that I started and now we are here at this point. So the point is how much open you are to break your comfort zone and learning new skills. That's the other thing I want to highlight. So personal branding, I want to highlight where you are voicing your expertise. Follow those influencers who are related to your field, and then when you start commenting and engaging with them, that will help you in your personal branding. Join the events, be a speaker in other events, and socially engage on other Twitter is the other way you can brand yourself. You are going to some event, just take a pic of it or a video and just share on your Twitter. Slowly by slowly, when the time goes, and then you are sharing where you're participating, whom you're engaging, whom you're commenting on Twitter, it also helps in your personal branding. So, Twitter is a very good platform. I must share that it can help in your personal branding. And then Google Alerts is something which has helped me a lot. I would love to share that. You have to just set the alert on the topic which you want to grow, and you will start getting the weekly updates on what's happening latest in that field. So do subscribe to Google Alerts and get the latest updates about your field. And you don't have to just sit and search what's happening in your field. You will get on your email, and that helps a lot in your professional growth. And do upskill regularly. As in the beginning I mentioned, that be a student forever in life, because then only you can survive in this crazy scenario what's happening around, because you will be so focused in your personal and professional growth. All these negativities won't affect you, because we know that we have that skill, and if we are growing, we will certainly achieve something in life. That's for sure. Humanity has been like that. There has been so many challenges. There were so many challenges which humanity has faced, and they have come out. So this present time is not that big, which they have seen without that technology, without those blessings. So positive thinking is the way to live life. And I will strongly say that personal management and your personal mastery can help you a lot in your journey.
I have made notes because I want to a little bit summarize all the things what you said. So basically, we were talking about personal and professional growth with the help of digital media, and we were mentioning journaling offline, having a journaling book there where you can read and write all your ideas and all your post ideas and content ideas. We were talking about time management, how important it is, how
Okay.
important it is to take care of our health and make sure that we are also balanced spiritually, mentally, and physically. We were talking about upscaling all the time,
Correct.
listening to people who are important, listening to people who are important for us and that can help us grow. Choose just a few and then follow them consistently, and be consistent with using the time that is just extra time in a car, on the metro, during commuting, which can help you to grow. And we were also mentioning many nice resources like Headway, Audible. You were mentioning setting Google alerts, being on Twitter, posting about what we are doing. So many nuggets here. I would love the audience to re-listen to this session after we are finishing, because there were many little nuggets, and I just mentioned a few of them. So this is really great. I have one question, Charu, from Alchan, and this is something that is connected to mental health. So I'm happy to feature this question. So Alchan is asking, what would you do if certain negative people give nasty comments on your post? Because especially for women, I also get something like this, which is not really about professional or personal involvement, but those comments are coming up, and some people cannot really deal with them. So what's your personal advice on dealing with those negative comments and digesting them?
Definitely is happening everywhere. It's just like bullying. I mean, kids are facing bullying, the physical world, and we are facing that bullying in the digital world. And many times it's happening that our opinion is not matching with the other opinion. So, as human, we have to show that maturity that this is digital world. They have said something. It's upon you how much it is affecting you.
Mm.
Don't react is the first step I always say. That emotional maturity happens with practice only, because as humans we react, right? But once we start building that thinking pattern, that is just a comment, and it's not important for me to show or to talk about it further and take the discussion further online and try to prove the other person wrong. There is no end to it, you know. You write other thing, the other person will write something else, and it will continue, and it can be a mess. Thankfully, it's a digital world. You can shut down the laptop, shut down the phone, engage yourself somewhere else. Don't react. Once you are meeting the person, if you are meeting the person, nicely you can share your opinion. It's a way to share that opinion, that you have a different opinion, I have the different opinion. We should respect as adults. So for me, I think the power is in our hands only, and we should be developing that power of stop reacting to everything. Let
I
go
really
things.
love this. I really love this.
Let
The
go
not
things
reacting. Yeah,
before.
you are so
Because
right that there's no
you are
end to
bringing
it.
that negativity, you're harming yourself. That guy or girl is relaxed. She has done her karma or his karma. But you are harming yourself by thinking, by just getting obsessed how to prove him wrong. The best way is just be calm, don't react, and let the time be the best factor.
I love this. And there is also an option if it's really harming you to block the person on almost all the social medias. You can block or report the person, and
Very
it
true.
will be avoiding any further harassment in the
If it's getting
future.
messier and he's continued, first step, block it. Every platform has given you that liberty to do that. You can complain, you can block. So many things are there.
Love it, Charu. I love this conversation. Again, please listen to it again, again, and again, again, and make notes. And then, as Charu said, apply the knowledge that you learned this morning. It was a very fresh morning together. I'm happy to have my first coffee with Charu this morning and have this easy conversation about personal and professional growth with the help of digital media. So I wish you a beautiful day. We are still staying in the studio. Soon, other speakers will join me. And thank you so much, Charu, for your speech and basically conversation today. What would be the last message that you would say to the women out there who you are uplifting? One message that would just make their days.
Well, love to. Thank you so much for having me, Andrea. It was a wonderful session. My last comment will be to avoid burnout, set boundaries for yourself, and stop getting obsessed about numbers. Growth takes time. Think of your personal brand and social media you use to grow as a long term investment. Because once you start getting obsessed with numbers, that I'm not getting likes, my post was having less likes or less comments, don't waste your energy on those things. Again, I will repeat, time, enthusiasm, and your energy are the most important currency in present time. And be mindful whole day how you're spending it. So that's my last message. Be mindful about it. And everybody, best of luck. Have a good digital growth. Use the digital media for your personal and professional growth in excellence way. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Charu. Have an amazing day and see you very soon. And thank you for joining the Global Empowerment Hub and the summits for the third time.
Thank you so much, Andrea. All the best for the summit. Thank you for
Thank
having me.
you. Bye bye, Charu. Hello, hello, hello. Here we are continuing our morning session. And I'm again, thank you for Charu for being here. And I wish you a beautiful, beautiful day. And now we are having a little bit of update for today's all amazing, amazing, amazing conversations. So there will be so many things coming up. Every day I try to update you, but you can also go to globalempowermenthub.com and there is the calendar for every single weekend. I'm scheduling everything myself. So the schedules are validated and updated on the website every Monday to Tuesday. So from Wednesday onwards, the only thing that you have to do in the next 5 weeks, you open your laptop on Wednesday, you go on the calendar, you check out what you like, And then you go on YouTube, and then on YouTube you set reminders, or you go into the Facebook group or the Facebook page, and you are doing the same. So easy way, accessible to everyone. I didn't want to create like a specific platform because I believe in the free knowledge share, and I believe that everyone should have access to this knowledge what we are sharing. So it's live streamed to LinkedIn, to the Global Empowerment Hub page on LinkedIn. It's live streamed to a specific Facebook group that you can find when you register on the website for the summit. It's live streamed to YouTube channel of the Global Empowerment Hub, where you can also set notification, and it's also live streamed to my personal page where I have 12,000 followers, so you can also watch it there. So guys, this is the third Global Empowerment Summit, and I'm really, really happy to share with you this weekend's program. Yesterday, we kicked off the summit, and we are continuing with amazing programs. So what's up next? In the morning session, very, very soon, we will have Bob, and he will talk about Be an Enhancer at Work. Bob is an amazing speaker, so it's worth to tune in from 11 a.m. Singapore time. Then we will have Unleash Your Awesome with Cal Holiday, and he's also an aspiring and energetic speaker. Please check it out. Then we go on a lunch break so that I can have a little break and breath. And then after that, we are having Toby creating safer entrepreneurship. We have Camelia about the word of mouth marketing. We have May about the digital marketing and branding in general. We have Shiv coming up with the value creation from coal to diamond. And we also have digital events for personal brand and marketing. Anna will come, and she will talk about how to create webinars, how to make events that can help to push your brands. And right after that, Ashish is coming for a very, very short mini teaser, because straight after that, from 4 p.m., we have the Women Startup Competition, the first women startup competition in Southeast Asia. The Global Empowerment Hub, we became the ambassadors for this brand in Southeast Asia, and this is the first time when we will have our pitching session, and all the winners will be qualifying for the finale held in Austria, Vienna. And we are really excited about those guys who are participating. We were mentoring them this week, and there are many surprising ideas, and you can listen to it if you are watching us. This will be streamed only to YouTube. And then in the evening session, we have Novnish coming, Prince and Dimitri, all about automation, storytelling in marketing, freelancing. And then we are closing the day with a panel discussion about the future of the startup world. So very exciting. Don't forget, we have a game going on. And in the game, you can just participate. She already added 5 extra questions. So this today, if you log in again with your email address, then you can again play and answer additional questions. We have trivia also, so it's getting more exciting. Thank you guys for watching. For Geeta, Krishan, Lalita, Jag. And now we are having a little bit of break just to relax before Bob is coming on the stage. And I would like to teach you something that you can practice every morning that will help you in every situation whenever you are a little bit more stressed, and that can give you a little bit of balance and a little bit of grounding. So just follow the instructions that I'm giving to you, because I know that every time it's really busy. Our day is becoming busy. We have to be online. We want to be online, but we sometimes just feel, me, myself also feel pressured to kind of deliver what I want to be. And it's very nice to calm yourself down from this excitement, from this pressure. So what you need to do, now I'm asking you, because this is kind of like a wellness session, it's still morning, so it's good to warm up. So just sit in a chair. Find the back of the chair. Find a position that you like. Try to settle. Relax your neck. You can even close your eyes if you want. I will not, because then I cannot really explain and see your comments. So close your eyes for a while and start to breathe in. The breath has to come from very deeply from your stomach. Breathe in. and breathe out. As long as possible until you 100% empty your lung. When it's done, repeat again. Breathe in and breathe out. Well done. Now we do it again for the third time, similar way. Breathe in and breathe out. Very nice. Already after 3 breaths, if you really took care of it and you really lived the moment and you really paid attention of how you were breathing, you will feel more calm. You can already hear on my voice that me, myself, my hyperactive personality, is a little bit more calm and more stated and more grounded. To make it a bit stronger and make you more confident, you can add one more thing, which is some of your power poses that you like. It can be anything. It can be putting your hands in front, relaxing in a position, putting up your hands and looking upwards. And do the same again. Breathe. In and out. Second time. In and out. And the third time. In and out. Do you feel the peace? Do you feel the balance? I hope you feel this silence, this calm, peaceful, settled feeling after doing this exercise. And you don't need to do very difficult things. These simple breathing techniques will help you to calm down, to stop your anxiety, and to be in a better, more peaceful and resourceful level. Thank you, Geeta. I hope it helped your day, and you can use it every time, whenever you would like to enhance your balance and to calm down yourself if you're a bit more stressful, if you're a bit more agitated, if you are a bit more excited about something. Even before keynote speaking, before having something very stressful coming up, if you receive some bad news, you can just think about this. Hey, I heard about this breathing technique, and then you can use it to be again aligned and grounded. I like to make sure that you have something that you can either lean onto, or if you are standing and you are in very good connection with the floor, because this will also help you to feel that you are okay, to feel that you are grounded, and feel that you are here now. And all what matters is to keep that state and to build yourself up from that. So I hope you liked it. And I see already Bob in the studio. He's a bit early, but I think he is very much ready to join me. So I will bring him up a bit earlier, and we will have him here for the longer time, because I really love Bob, and Bob is so energetic, and his speaking is just, yeah, you will see. We will have an amazing time together. He is my next speaker in the studio. So let me just bring him up. Surprise, surprise. Hey, Bob.
Hey, how are you? Here I was just figuring I was at least on the right night. That would be the good thing.
You are at the right night. You are on the right day. I'm so happy to have you here, and the audience can already see you and hear you. Everything is going well, and I'm
Yes,
so
it
happy
is.
to have you here, Bob. The audience doesn't know, but Bob was also one of the speakers who joined me at the very beginning of this summit, and I'm calling back people from that year, because that was actually the first ever year when I was organizing this, the first summit that we did on a hybrid way. No one knew about how to do hybrid summits. No one knew about anything about live streaming.
Who would know that we'd be leading the pack in doing this?
Exactly. Even me, I didn't know that I will have a
No,
global empowerment hub. It just started as an idea to
you were a
bring
ground
people
setter. You were a
together.
ground setter even then.
Exactly. Bob, how are you doing? How
I
have
am.
you been?
I am doing well. I went through caught COVID in the end of August, but I tested negative again the beginning of September. So been recovering a bit, getting my energy back up. Going for walks once or twice a week, and just to get my strength up because I'm off to Athens next Friday and going on a cruise for a week. And when we go on a cruise, we usually go and explore and learn and try out new things. And going to do a lot of videos because we're one of the places we're going is in Turkey, is Ephesus, and they actually found an amphitheater that was originally built by the Greeks under like a mountain. So they dug it out, and it's actually still there. So I'm going to sit there, and I don't know what the speech is going to be yet, but I'm going to do a speech in Ephesus, and we'll record it, and we'll play it, and we'll have
Wow,
fun.
it's amazing. And you have to tell me about this cruise because I know that it's a special occasion if you can share it with us because I think it's just so lovely while you
Oh
are
yeah.
doing the
Well,
cruise.
it's actually a 14th anniversary cruise, wedding anniversary. It's a month late because we had COVID, and I figured we might not be physically able to do things in October, so I booked it in November when I knew we'd be healthy and we could actually enjoy it. Because my wife and
I
I
love it.
we enjoy traveling. Me more than her. She comes along and enjoys it. I drag her around the world, and it's fun. But
It's just so much fun. And I really, really love this that you are going on a cruise together. Please, guys, if you have a wife and you want to do something very special, here is an idea for you for your
there you
next
go.
anniversary.
And if you're a wife and you have a husband, take your husband on a cruise.
Oh,
That's a good
yeah, you
idea.
can do there and back.
It can go either way. This is a nice thing.
So true. So I think
Uh,
we have some guests saying hi. So
oh
welcome,
yes,
Bob.
I see a few
Geeta.
people from
Yes,
back.
Archana Cruise Traveling. And then we have also Jagatis. Hi,
Yes,
Bob, and Jack from
hi
Malaysia.
Shobra. Yeah.
She was also here in the first year. So
Oh, I know. Well, it's nice. It's really nice to be back. And it's nice to see that you're still doing stuff like this because I mean, there was a lot of us that went through some real soul searching when COVID hit. I was telling somebody the other day. I said, at least in 2020, it wasn't a bad year because I wasn't disappointed because I didn't anticipate anything. In 2020, I was supposed to speak in Kuala Lumpur. I was supposed to speak in Singapore. I was supposed to speak in Stuttgart. I was supposed to speak in Paris, and I was doing my own program in Barcelona, and it all just sort of went like this, and it went up into the internet, and that's what it was. And for a long time, I was bouncing around the walls because we couldn't even get out of the house. I mean, for us, a big thing was to drive into Edmonton and go through the A&W for a drive-through date, you know, because it got us out of the house. We couldn't have any contact with anybody because everybody was scared and doing the masks and whatever. Or the other time we went into to Home Depot and they brought out a whole bunch of dirt for the yard and put it in the vehicle because we couldn't even go into the store. The store was closed, but we could order ahead, and that was the big excitement for that year. You know.
lot of expectation, and then oh no, and they just all flew away. I don't know how you feel, but I feel that yeah, those 2 years, it's kind of like just
Yeah,
like
it is.
like
I'm definitely. I don't miss it. It was like I say. It was productive in the sense that I did a lot of writing because I had a lot of downtime and I worked on a bunch of ideas and stuff, which is now starting to go ahead. But it was a challenge because I'm the kind of person I love to travel. I love to be out engaging people, and so I started, like, for example, I started a Friday morning Zoom coffee thing, and I'm still doing it. I had people this morning, one lady from Switzerland or from Sweden, and somebody else from someplace in the States, and I don't know who's going to show up. We get together because I knew that there were people out there like me that needed some kind of people contact
mm,
that would go nuts if they didn't have somebody to talk to. So I thought, I got a pro account with Zoom. I can make it available, and just we've been doing this, so it's fun. But now it's nice to get out and talk to people. You know,
Yes, I can see it, that it's harder to get in people to watch the summit also around Friday night.
oh,
It
well,
was like
yeah, you know,
everyone
it's
is
just
out in a restaurant enjoying the food and going out with the
I know.
family. So
Yeah, but
it's
I get to hang out with you Friday night. What can I say? You know,
yes,
and
how
one of
good
the
it
reasons
is,
for doing
right?
this is because I knew this weekend I would be home. Next weekend, I'm in Athens. I'm literally this time next week I'll be on the plane from Montreal to Athens because we fly from here to Montreal and then we're Montreal to Athens. So and then we'll
Lovely.
be gone for 2 weeks and then back and then I'll kick into one of the last weeks that you're doing. So because I probably won't watch while I'm on the road because one the
Don't watch, enjoy your trip.
I
Come
know.
on.
Well, the thing is, you know, on the internet on the ships is one is very slow and very expensive. So I can't promise I will check in with you while I'm traveling. But
No
I
problem.
you never know. I might just pop up when you least expect it.
That's the advantage of the social media and the internet, that you can
Yeah,
rewatch things and it will be on the YouTube channel anyway, so
yeah.
people can rewatch it after the session, so
Oh,
no problem.
fine.
So Bob,
Yes,
we were warming up. You came up in the studio a bit more earlier. I think people are ready for you. So tell us a little bit about yourself, because not everyone knows you, because not
I
everyone is here
know.
for the
It's
three
amazing how
years.
that happens. You know, I'm still one of the best kept secrets. I'm from Canada. In case that people don't know, I'm actually called the Canadian Idea Man. And most people say, "Well, why are you the idea man?" I said, "Well, stick around. We'll talk for a bit, and you'll get it because I'll be talking to somebody, and I'll say, "Have you ever thought of?" Or this would be something that might work for you, and I do that. But I've been speaking and training and writing now for almost 32 years. It'll be 32 years in April, which is amazing as I'm only five.
Congratulations.
I started when I was 5 years actually later, but started in my 40s. But um, I love what I do. I work with people and leaders who want to do better. I work with people who want their teams to be empowered and grow and be more successful and satisfied at work. You know, those kinds of things. I work with people who have problems and challenges because again, sometimes I'm the kind of guy who comes in and goes, "Have you ever thought of this?" And sometimes I see something that to me is glaringly obvious, and to the person who's struggling up against the wall like this with the challenges, they don't see it. And sometimes I go, you know, you're right up to the wall here. There's a door 2 feet to your right. If you just shuffled over 2 feet, you could open the door and you could go out. And people pay me really good money for that, which is amazing. I mean, I love what I do. I love being in front of an audience and challenging them to think, challenging them to grow, challenging them uh, to get out of their comfort zone. Because I've told people, when you get out of your comfort zone, that's where you succeed. If you stay in your comfort zone, you're eventually going to rot and die. Because I've seen people do it, and to me, that is such a waste of talent and brain power and those kinds of things. I do that with my clients. I challenge them to say, you know, you have an amazing asset in the people that you have working for you, even if you think that they're wrong people. Because sometimes you're put in charge of a group and maybe you didn't pick them, but they're the right people if you approach them the correct way and find a way to encourage them and enhance their ability to perform. But that's part of what I do.
I
And
would
I
like to
guess
ask you about something already at the beginning. I'm so curious person. So the first thing is that how can you get where you got? Like, you are there in this space as a keynote speaker for more than 30 years, but you also have started somewhere. So what would you suggest to those people who want to be a keynote speaker? Like, what are those three things, let's say three things, that they have to do to make sure that they are like really in the visible space of keynote
okay.
speakers?
Well, I mean, one of the things, I mean, other than the obvious thing of like what I did, I joined Toastmasters to practice and become a better speaker. That was my main purpose of getting there. Is somebody said, Bob, if you want to be a good speaker, join Toastmasters and practice. I didn't know what Toastmasters was at that time, and I joined, 32 years ago, and I moved into it. But if you want to do this and do it professionally, first thing you can do is make sure you're good. Now that sounds simple, That sounds simplistic, but the truth of it is your best advertisement is doing a good job,
Mm.
is speaking and having people see you in action and go, oh, this guy is good. This guy is good. And other people within our industry will do that. I mean, I was involved in a campaign to run for international director, and my friend Brian Tracy actually wrote me an endorsement. He said, Bob is one of the best speakers and trainers I've ever met. Now, he can say that because he's seen me in action. We've worked together on stages around North America. He couldn't say that if he'd never seen me. And he wouldn't say that if he didn't think it was true. But so the biggest thing you want to do is make sure you're good. Make sure you know what you're talking about. Make sure you can deliver it in an interesting way, because that's the biggest thing nowadays is people don't want to be lectured. They don't want to have somebody talking to them and just giving a lecture, I mean, like we used to get in university. The guy would come in or the woman would come in and they'd talk for an hour. Okay, students and blah, blah, blah. And most of us were bored silly. We were doing whatever we could do to fill in the gaps, to think, how do we finish this course? But if you make it interesting, and the other thing too is when you're speaking, don't be afraid to challenge people. This is the thing. And same thing as a leader. Don't be afraid to challenge, to set the standard and challenge the people to live up to it. And not only live up to it, but surpass it. One of the things that I have seen over the years is the leaders that do that, sometimes they are totally amazed with what the people they're leading do. If they give them the tools, give them the instruction, give them the empowerment to do it, and then say, go get it. And sometimes they will blow you away. They will, it's like a little story. It's an old story of a little guy and a little girl, and he's looking at this big tree and he's going, oh, I can't climb that. And this little girl bats her eyes at him and says, I bet you can. And he climbs the tree because he's motivated, And so find something that motivates the people you're working with. And because this is the other little secret is everybody that's working for you is motivated by something different. Some of them actually are motivated by money, and that's okay. But most of them, money is not the major object, other than they need to pay their bills and they need to, to make a living and feel like they're doing something. Some of them are looking to say, I want to work someplace where I feel like I'm part of the team, where I feel that I'm doing something substantial, that I'm doing something that makes a difference. Other people want to be the person who learns something. I want to work someplace where they challenge me to grow and they give me additional training so that by the time I'm ready to move on, because people aren't always going to stay with you forever, by the time I move on, I've got some more transferable skills that make me more valuable than I was. And see, a lot of leaders don't understand that that's okay. People are going to be with you for whatever time they're there. When they're there, work with them, invest in them, help them grow. People say, well, if I do that, what if they leave? And somebody said, yeah, well, what if you don't invest in them and they stay? That's even worse, because then you got a bunch of unmotivated people that aren't doing the job, and they're just taking their paycheck and they're saying, hey, I'm going to hang it until I'm 65. And then, what are you going to do then? Well, then I'll get, old age pension or something.
Love it, Bob. And I love your enthusiasm. I love the explanation, love the ideas and the examples. I really love to listen to you. We have one question.
Okay.
Where do you get your most inspirational ideas, and usually which time of the day?
Well, it varies. With COVID, it's varied. It used to be, well, COVID, my lifestyle has changed slightly with COVID. And the fact that I'm getting older and stuff, I actually stay up later and sleep in the morning now, which I never did before. I was getting up early, unless I'm working on a book. If I'm working on a book or a project or something, I'll be up and I'll put 5 hours in before lunch. But lots of times I get ideas in the middle of the night, just like the typical thing. And if it's something that's really generating in my brain, I'll actually get out of bed so I don't interrupt my wife, and I'll come into the office, turn on the thing, and I'll plug on my computer and put down the basics of what the idea is, and then I'll go back to sleep. Because I think the biggest thing people do is I'll remember it. No, you
Ah,
won't.
and we were.
No, you
True.
won't. I guarantee you, you won't remember it if it's something you think about, unless you either write it down or, in my case, because my writing is illegible, I come and type it. I mean, I became a very prolific writer once I got a typewriter and then a computer, because then people could read what I wrote. I
That's
mean,
true. That's true. I'm always forgetting because I love little books like this. So I have like hundreds of notebooks, and then I write down my ideas, but I don't know in which notebook I wrote it down.
well, or worse yet, if well, that's better than not writing it down. It's funny. In some cases, like the writing is so bad. I had a client, a longtime friend now, who I went to visit him in his office, and I guess it was just after Christmas, or just before Christmas. And he said, "Bob, I got this card from you. What does it say?" And I said, "I don't know, but I think it was something nice." Because I couldn't read. I couldn't read it either. I'd scribbled something, and but I mean that's another thing you can do to enhance the relationship with people. Let them know you care. Send them cards, send them an email, give them a call, that kind of stuff. The same guy used to be with a very large retail furniture chain here in Canada, the biggest one at one time. And he got headhunted to go work for a guy in the States. And he gave me a call and he said, Bob, the name of the company that he was with, he said, "We're not on the secret selling tips, are you?" And that's something that we'd started with the one here in Canada. And I said, "No." And he said, "Well, then we're not going to be unless you come for a visit." So I said, "Well, tell you what, I'm going to be speaking in wherever it was, someplace in Europe, but I can arrange to fly back through Chicago or Detroit, and then I'll come and see you." And, so we launched it for him. It was a nice little $10,000 gift to me to hang out and spend a couple of days with him. But
So nice, so nice. And I think one of the speakers, Greg Smith, will come on board, and he also has a very amazing approach. It's send handwritten notes. So he is doing some kind of a video handwriting, and then
okay.
this can be sent online to the people, and it can be an invitation, it can be a note, it can be anything. Very interesting
Yeah.
business model.
Well, because technology has allowed us, like I do that. Like I say, I'm speaking in Athens on the 16th and 17th of next month. So I recorded, I turned on my Zoom and recorded a little thing saying, "Hi, people in Athens, it's Bob Huey from Canada. I'm coming to see you, and I'll be there doing a corporate event on the 16th, and we're doing a public event on the 17th or whatever, and hopefully you can come to one or both," and put it off and send it out, and they can use that for promotion. And that technology wasn't there 20 years ago. So the technology is there. I think the biggest thing you want to do if you're in business is say, what can I do to help do a better job at letting people know what I can do for them? That's one thing. The other thing is, what can I do as a way of keeping in touch with my clients, or what can I do as a way to continue to encourage my staff to take care of my clients? Because that's how you stay in business. I mean, you
So
think
how
about what
would
you're.
Sorry, finish
Okay.
the sentence. I'm
I was just
just
thinking that's like what you've done in terms of building this, starting initially getting a few speakers and then going back to the well and saying, "Hey, could you come help me again?" And my guess is a lot of us said, "Absolutely, we'll come and help because we had fun last time."
true.
And that's how you build it. You start and then you build it because other people get to know what you're doing. And you start saying to them, and this is the one secret that I share with people, is that I've learned over the years, the people who are the most successful in business and organizations and leadership are the ones that aren't afraid to ask for help. Because the one thing I've learned is people are more willing to say yes and help me than I was to ask them. I mean, there's occasional times where they don't have time or they can't do it. I've done a couple of books that were anthologies, and I reached out to Guy Kawasaki, who was one of the guys who was originally with Apple, and he's written a few books.
I follow him also.
Okay. And the first
Amazing
time
guy.
he helped me, the second time he said, "Bob, I'd love to help you, but I'm right in the middle of launching something, so I have to say no this time." And it's fine. The first time he said yes and contributed to one of the books. The second time he said no. Maybe the third time he'll say yes again. Who knows? But you have to have the ability to reach out and say, "Here's what I'm doing. Would you help me?" And then shut up.
Simply as it is. Don't follow. Don't start to, be the creep going after people.
Just ask, make the ask, and then shut up and let them process it and answer it. And a lot of times they'll say yes.
Love it, love it. So,
Yeah.
one other question, because you are also someone who is experimenting with all this technology. You adapt it so well. So, how would you break the limiting belief of people who are not so good with technology and would like to stay on top of their business, their industry, especially if they're speakers or coaches like you? How can they level up their game? How can they just be brave enough to change to digital?
Well, I think the word you use there is be brave enough to try. I mean, I'm not an early adopter. I'm one of those guys who does it after. Now, of course, I have the advantage of having a wife who's a techie. It's a good partnership. Like when I was, for example, when I was doing the sales program, it was an online sales program, and I found out that my client had an in-house studio, film studio, and I could book time in it. So I came home and excitedly said, "Hey, guess what? We've decided we're gonna do little 1 and 2 minute videos to add to each of the tips to go." And she said, "Well, I don't know how to do that." And I said, "Well, not yet." But she figured it out, and we added it to it. And I would book time, and I would go in, and I learned how to use a teleprompter, so I could go in about an hour. I could do about 20 of these things, and their film crew would go, "I'm amazed that you could do this, because we get our executives come in there, and they're lucky if they can do one in an hour." And I said, "Yeah, but I'm a professional speaker, and I've also learned how to use the teleprompter, uh, which was something I didn't know how to use. I learned how to adjust my writing so that what was on the teleprompter was along the way that I spoke."
Is it hard to use a teleprompter? Because I don't know, like an improvisative person like me, I hate to read and speak what I'm
Well, yeah.
reading. So how is it working?
Well, I mean, the thing is, you can use a teleprompter in many ways. You can use it just as a bullet points to talk about, like I do when I'm doing my training. I'll have PowerPoint, and there's a few bullet points, which is simply talking points for me. But the other thing is, if you're doing something where you want to make sure that it's well formulated, then practice it so that you scroll it. The person who's doing it gets to know how you speak,
Mhm.
and can, because they control the pace so that it keeps up with you. And uh, I don't use one often, but in this particular case, because I wanted to videotape, I wanted to not tape, not old. I wanted to video record. This is old thinking. Tape. What's a tape? Yeah, I think I remember what tapes were once. But they got to know what my style was and my speed, so then they would just make it work, and eventually you get to use it. But I personally, I'm like you. I like to just I think about what I want to say. I've blocked it out. I mean, I do a lot of mind mapping when I'm doing a presentation. So, okay, here's my main point that I want to cover. Here's the first point I want to cover. Here's some examples, and here's the second point I want to cover, and some examples, and so forth. So I can remember that, and I use something. I may have a little guide over here that says, or like when I'm doing something like here. I don't in this case, because this is free flow, you and me just asking and answering questions. A lot of times, if I'm doing this, I'll have little sticky notes all over my wall and around my monitor here. People don't see that. There'll be a sticky note here, and another one here, and another one here, and another one here. And I can just keep looking, and I'm reading stuff.
Mhm.
And all it's saying is, "Hey, talk about this." Okay, when you've said that, talk about this. How about this? This is something you need to talk about. And it makes what you're doing easier, because you don't have to sit there and try and remember it all the time. It's a mental jog.
Mhm.
And I think most of us just need something to say. It's like when you're going to travel, and now that I'm starting to travel again, I'm loving that. You sit down, and there's a lot of little details to make the travel work.
Mm.
But you think it through and say, "Okay, I need to do this. I need to do this. Yes, I've got to book my flights, and I've got to, make sure I've got a place to park my car at the airport, and I got to make sure I've got a hotel in Athens for the first night, and then we're getting on the boat for a week, and then I need to make sure that we have a hotel in Athens when we get off the boat, because we're going to be there for another 4 or 5 days, and then we fly home." There's all these details. It's a lot of work, but once you've got it done, it's no big deal. You just got your folder. Like in my case, I've got some of it on my phone, but I've also got some of it old school. That's my travel stuff. So that goes in my backpack.
So
And if I,
collecting and putting them in one place so that you can find them and
yeah.
preparing the trip in advance and then
And
being
if you're
cold enough.
organized, yeah,
You
if
know,
you're
it's
organized, you can relax. It's when you're unorganized that you have the problem. It's like with what you're doing with this. I mean, this, for those of you who are watching, you maybe don't understand. This isn't a lot of work for Andrea. This is, and I'm saying a lot of work. There's a lot of details behind the scenes to make this happen for you. I mean, I know it looks seamless and she's just having fun and talking to people, but there's a lot of work behind the scenes. My God, woman, it's a lot of work. But it's worth it because you put together something that creates value for the people that take part of their Friday night or Saturday morning in your case, because it's Saturday morning there, to actually spend some time with us. But you had to have the idea first, right? Remember back then when you said maybe I could do a summit, and invite some speakers, and we could talk about issues, and we could talk about things that would help people level up their businesses or level up their careers or whatever, and slowly but surely that started happening, and now you're doing it again.
Yeah, the third year. And yeah, you are
Fun.
right.
It is totally fun though.
Yes.
I mean, and a lot of people don't realize that. But see, there's another thing I want to talk about is fun. Uh, People who watch you, and they'll be watching you a lot over the next 5 weeks, will realize that you like to have fun. You work hard. You obviously work hard behind the scene, but you like to have fun, and that shows. It shows in your face, and that makes all the difference in the world. I've worked with people all over the world, and some of them are very staunch and businesslike, and some of them are like me, and somewhere in between. But eventually, when I'm spending time with them, we find a point where we can have some fun. When you're working hard and things are working well, it's fun. When you plan something and it works out, that's fun. When you take a risk and it actually pays off, that's amazingly fun. And if it doesn't, you'll learn from it.
Exactly. I was like asked by so many people, like, how do I do it? I managed all of you, more than 115, I think, this year. Last year 220, first year 110. So it's a lot of people. In the last 3 years, it was almost 400 people who went through these summits. And I'm just saying, like, I don't see problems as problems. I see problems as simple tasks that you need to, just do it, like do something with it and focus on the solution and not the drama part. Because if you focus on the drama, you will create more drama. And the point is that you never solve the problem. But if you focus on, okay, he cannot come, okay, I play a video, then all right, it's done. People had fun. They had their something that they didn't even know that it's not the program, right?
Yeah, but
So
you see, that's the key. That's the key is the program, they don't. It's like
exactly.
when you're giving a speech, you know what you're going to talk about. The audience doesn't. So if you miss something, the worst thing you can do is, oh, I missed something. And I've seen people do that. And I've actually learned something. Here's a little secret for you. If you think of something you missed, don't say, hey, I screwed up, I missed something. You just stand for a second and say, I just had another thought about what we were talking about 5 minutes ago. And how about this? We could add that to that mix. That makes you look brilliant. What you're really saying is, I'm getting old and I forgot this point, but I'll fit it in now. But you don't say that.
It's like the same I'm telling everyone, because I'm also dancing, that since I was 6. So I tell to people when they are missing out on the choreography, because I taught a lot of people who were doing wedding dances. And you have to know about wedding dances. It's always a screw up because everyone is so excited. You are in love. You want to celebrate. So there's nothing like concentration and focus. I have never seen a completely 100% perfect wedding dance. No. So I was telling them, look, you know the choreography. No one else knows the choreography. If you screw up, smile and go further, because no one knows.
It's like, I remember reading a book, and I can't remember what it was called, but it was Sammy Davis Jr.'s story. Sammy was a an entertainer many years ago, and he actually would screw up, like he would do something in his show and he would screw up and he would cover it up and there was a good laugh or whatever, and he, oh, this worked, so he would actually deliberately do it again the next night, the same screw up that originally was a screw up, but the next night it was deliberate because it got a laugh. And that's how he expanded his act. He went, okay, I'm doing something. Oh, that didn't work, but I covered it up and people laughed. Okay, now I'll do that again. And they laughed again. Okay, now that's part of the show. Just like with me, with my presentation, I tell people that I'm conversational and I'm humorous, but I'm not a comedian. I don't try and tell jokes, because the worst thing you can do as a speaker is to try a joke, because if it's not funny, there's this thing called silence.
Yeah.
Silence is going, the audience is going, was that supposed to be funny? You know? So I just talk, and if they laugh, I let them think I'm having fun. If they don't laugh, I just keep talking. I finish early.
I love it, Bob. And I think it's time to get into the topic that we are having today.
Yes.
I see Kel is very early in the studio, so I will not let him out yet. So enjoy your backstage, Kel. For the audience who doesn't know, in StreamYard, you have the backstage below the scene. So I see Kel already here testing all his backgrounds and everything. So, but here we are.
Everybody's eager to be here, so they come in early.
I love it. I love
Plus
this
you
discipline.
said to come in early, so I went to come in early. I like to make sure that I'm here and listen in and what you're doing, and
I love
I
it.
get a chance to just get in the mode.
So your topic for today, actually, because we wanted to have a topic also for today, is be an enhancer at work. And that's actually the topic that we chose for you, because you are a specialist in it. You wrote many books. We haven't talked about it yet, but I think we just first talk about this topic and then we will get to your books.
Sure.
So what does it mean for you to be an enhancer at work, and why is it so important?
Well, I think if you're in leadership, I'll take it from a leadership perspective, because that's a lot of the people I work with. If you want to be successful in your business or your organization, you do that by encouraging and empowering the people that work for you. That means you have to enhance their ability to do their jobs. That's really where the word fits in. You enhance their ability to grow on the job, to do a better job, to get better satisfaction, to be able to, at the end of the day, say, hey, I made a difference today. And you can do that in lots of ways. I mean, one of the ways is realizing that everybody gets motivated by different things. We talked about that briefly earlier. So find out what motivates each of your team and work to that, play to that, so that if they're the person who needs to be the one who gets a lot of exposure, then give them lots of exposure. Some people don't. They just want to do their job. They want to, have you come over and say, hey, great job. Other people want you to stand at the front of the room and say, hey, Andrea did a great job. And so you have to do that, because you treat them the same by treating them different. It's like kids. You treat your kids different because they're not the same. What works with one kid doesn't work with the other. Same thing with employees and with staff members and members on a team of any kind. So you as the enhancer, you as the leader, have to understand what motivates them and find a way of framing the conversations and the job descriptions and those kinds of things, that it makes sense to them, so it's relevant to them, and they go, I get it, I can do that. And then some of us need constant reassurance and content. Some of us, like me, just tell me what you want to get done, tell me what the deadline is, what the parameters are, what can I spend on it, and then leave me alone. I'll check in with you if I have a problem. So you just need to know. If you got somebody like me, you just give them the thing, say, okay, tell me how it goes. Other people, I'll check in with you tomorrow, see how you're doing. And that's okay. But that enhances their work, because you're valuing them as individuals and you're valuing the strengths that they have that are specific to them.
I love it. And I love the point that you mentioned, that we need to kind of be cheerleaders. I love to be people's cheerleaders. Even if I go to a restaurant, I love to like, just say like, hi, how are you today to the waiter, because I see the smile after, right? And then they will feel better that someone regarded them as human beings, not just like moving people, moving assets all day long, right?
And the nice thing is, it's nice to be able to recognize and catch people doing something right. Too often in life, people catch you, oh, you screwed up. Oh, and they give us heck. It's nice to say, hey, you did a good job, because they're not used to hearing that. I'll give you a case in point. One of the books that I wrote is on customer service is called Make Me Feel Special, which is the essence of what customer service is. I just did some updates this year, and there's an IGA, which is a grocery store in the little town that's about 10 miles away from here. And Ken, who owns the store, has a great work ethic and a lot of great kids and older people that work for him, and just a good environment. And I went in before Christmas to get some little minced fruits and stuff. My wife wanted to make some Christmas cake or something, and I went and looked on the shelf. There wasn't any, so I talked to Trina, who was one of the cashiers, and I said, I can't find this. And she said, well, let's go take a look. So she came up behind the thing, and we went to the one spot I'd already looked at. No, it's not there. Oh, there's another place. We'll go look at it there. Not there. And she said, hang on, let me see what I can do. She went to the bakery and came back with a cup full of this stuff and said, here, this will work for you. I wrote about that in the book. And when the book came about 3 weeks ago, the newest 2022 version, I took it in and gave it to her boss and showed him the page and said, you might want to show this. And as I was walking out, she was walking in and said, by the way, Ken wants to talk to you.
So nice. How much surprise she would have been.
She was totally blown away that, one, I noticed, and that, two, I remembered, and three, I would write about it. But that's the whole point. You be their cheerleader, you be their champion, you be, to catch them doing something right and push them to try something that they haven't tried before. Because too often we're afraid to start. We're afraid to try something because what if we fail? Well, what if you succeed? And if you're the kind of leader that says, if you fail, that's good. There's a lesson here. We'll keep moving on it. But I want you to try something you've never done before, and I'll support you in doing that. You do that. You have an organization full of people like that. You'll break the records. You'll knock everybody else out of business. You'll be the leader because they won't have those kind of people working for them.
I think that Kel is already laughing because it's something like they would unleash their ozone.
Well, there you go. Yeah, there you go. Boom.
Boom.
Well, and the funny part is once they've done that and they understand that, and they understand that you're really supporting them, they'll get bolder and they'll get better. It's like I used to teach presentation skills at a college in Vancouver, and there were people there that were English as a second language. And after I'd taught the course 3 or 4 times, I realized that one thing would happen. I'd say, just so you know, one of the things that's going to happen here is, one, you're going to have a lot of fun because I'm going to challenge you. But two, there's at least 2 or 3 people in this room right now that are hiding behind their monitors, that by the time I'm done with them, they're going to be standing up here giving a speech, and they're going to go from this to this, and they're never going to go back to that again, because now they've expanded. Now they've expanded their experience. They're never going to go back to that shy person hiding behind the monitor because, oh, we don't want anybody to see me. That's a wonderful thing to do, is to let people shine, let them grow, let them be the heroes in your story. You don't have to be the hero. The people who are working for you can be the heroes. They're the ones that make it work. They're, in the truth of it, you're only as good as the people you employ and empower. It's just really that simple. You're the guy with the paycheck and the directions. But if you don't do a good job and they don't do a good job, you're probably all looking for work.
That's so true. That's really true. And I see that you and Kel would go on so well. I would love to bring Kel up on the scene so that you can also have a little bit of conversation before we
Sure.
finish our session. Let me just see and bring him up. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. And I will
Oh, there
make
we
the
go.
planner go away so that we have
Hey,
visible.
There you going there, Bob.
how you doing?
Doing great, buddy. Doing great.
Where are you from?
I'm actually an Australian and living in Thailand at the moment.
Oh, okay. Okay. I've got a daughter in Australia.
Okay.
She lives in Perth. She's a teacher.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm on the east coast, so
Oh,
I'm
okay.
over, just a little bit north of Sydney.
Oh, okay. Oh, I like that area too.
Yeah, beautiful spot.
Yeah, I think your two topics of enhancing and unleashing, it's very, very good match together. Like both of you are working on empowering and leveling up people on different ways. And I really, really love this synchronism and dynamism between the two of you.
Well, I mean, there's nothing nicer, and Kevin, I'm sure you know, there's nothing nicer than seeing somebody get it
Yeah.
and understand that they can do it. You know, and
Yeah.
see the recognition in their brain and their body that, oh my God, I can actually do this.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
That light,
I never
bulb moment.
I never thought I could do this, and holy crap, Batman, I can do this.
Yeah. Yeah. I call it that light bulb moment. They go,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
whiz.
The light goes on.
Yeah, they just all these barriers come down, and they go,
Yeah.
I could actually do that,
Yeah.
rather than that fixed mindset we always see so often. Oh no, I can't. I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
And I love what you're saying here, Bob. Enhance. Like just empower people to do it.
Yeah, well, the nice thing about it is once they've got that one moment in the back of their mind, they start saying, "Wonder what else I can do." Wonder if I can do this, and I never thought I could do it. Wonder what else I could do. There's a bunch of other stuff I never thought I could do. Maybe I could do that too.
Yeah.
And you've given them a gift of opportunity and adventure that changes their lives. And that's you can't put a price on that.
Yeah, and you mentioned earlier that that you've written a couple of books. Like that's something that a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs have got in them. They've got the experiences in them to write it, but not the confidence, or they're not empowered to do that. That was me many years ago. Like I was dyslexic, unable to read and write properly, and somebody said, "Hey, you got a lot of information. Go out there and do it." And I went, "Oh no, I'm not intelligent enough. I can't write a book."
Oh, come on. I'll give you a little secret. I've got a little catchphrase, and you can write this down for people watching that. Writing is easy. Capture the thought or the idea, make the connection. The rest is editing.
Yes.
And to people like you, I'd say capture that thought, make the connection, tell the stories, whatever. You can hire somebody like my wife to help you edit and turn it into something. I mean, how do you think my stuff turns out so brilliantly? I mean, although I have to say, over the years, I've gotten better. I get stuff back from her now without as many red marks or purple marks, because she writes with purple. I used to get it. It looked like it was bleeding. It's like, oh, this is. I missed scratch this out. And now it's just a few little things because I'm learning. She's teaching me by showing me what it should look like. So my brain goes, oh, that's not right. I can fix that before I give it to her.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like anything. It's just like riding a bike. The more you keep on doing it, the more you've got the people behind you to support you, the more you can achieve if you just let go of your own inhibitions.
Yeah.
And look, I've been there. I actually just got my fourth book.
All right.
It's in the editors at the moment. I just got it back, and it took me an hour and a half to go through the edits, where the first book, a couple of years back, was like, it took me like 3 days to go through all the different changes, because it's such a, the whole red line thing, So,
it's like the manuscript is bleeding. It's got so much red ink.
Yeah.
But you can't fear it. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, you think about it. With the advent of print on demand, it's never been easier to publish crap.
I love this. Let's make it a quote, Bob. There's so many things
and I've seen that. I mean, I had a couple of people that did that, that wrote books and actually made them bestsellers. And I read them and went, oh my God, this is horrible.
Yeah.
But they did it because other people sat back and said, I want to write a book. I write a book. They never did it. This lady at least wrote something and it was horrible. And the next edition got better. But, but again, if you ask for help, people will help you and they will help you succeed.
Yeah.
And that's like in my case, I've written 30 some books now.
Yeah. Wow.
And some of it just came. Well, I mean, some of it came when I first started speaking. People would say, do you have a book? And after a while, I'd say, no, why? Would you buy one? And they say, yeah, if you had a book, I'd buy it. And I went, oh, click, light bulb.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not just a speaker. I'm somebody who's sharing information. Maybe I should write. So the first one I did, I had like a little thing I'd used because I was teaching presentation skills. I like 63 pages. So I expanded it a bit and it was a book and I did it spiral bound and I sold it for $20 at the back of the room. And I made a few $1,000s and I went, holy crap, people actually like this stuff. So I started doing more. And then we got to the point where you can do print on demand, like for example, and you can do things like I'm speaking in Athens on the 15th and 16th next month. I had the books printed in Italy and shipped to Athens.
Yeah.
I don't have to carry them in my suitcase.
Yeah, not from US. I'm in Canada. It's like something that that people can learn from you also. You don't read this internet world with the digital world. You don't need to actually deliver and ship all your books.
In the old days it was tough.
You can do it in somewhere else.
You had an extra suitcase full of books and you hoped it was. Now you bring a few. If there's any left, you bring them home. Or actually, lots of times, if there's any left, there's only a few. I'll say, here, why don't you just pass these out to people?
Oh, I love it, Bob. I love it all the time. When you are here in the studio, I just light up and I'm smiling so much. I don't know. Wow. You have this very positive vibe, and I love it. And I hope the audience could feel it. I will know that.
Thank you again for having me this year.
Thank you.
And I'm not kidding. When I get back from my trip, I mean, I promise I probably won't reach out to you while I'm traveling because the internet may not be that good where I'm at. But when I get back, I'll check in with you and see how you're doing.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you for all the speakers taking care of me throughout all these summits because I received so many. Are you okay, Andrea? Did you sleep? Rest well? Messages. I'm always feeling so happy. So that's why you see me smiling. It became a family in the last 3 years.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And Kel, it was great to meet you. I hope we connect and who knows, maybe we can work together somewhere down the line.
Definitely.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Bob.
Bye-bye now.
See you.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye. So let me put back the banner so that we can have the branding. And I'm welcoming here Kel in the studio. Kel is from Australia, and we are actually speaking about Unleash Your Awesome. I love the topic. It's so cool already. So I'm really, really, really welcoming you in the studio. And let's just warm up a little bit by telling us a little bit more about yourself, who you are, what are you about, what do you do in your free time, these kind of easy topics to warm up.
Okay, look, I'm a fairly simple sort of guy. I started my whole career pathway as a carpenter, and so I love the practical sense of helping others and making people smile. And so, I use my hands and built things and built a company. And by the age of about 24, 25, thereabouts, I had a $45 million building company. And so the entrepreneurial journey started very early and lots of different things happened throughout my life. I absolutely love life. And it's always been about this sense of freedom. Like I want to give people freedom, share freedom with them, share a smile and enjoy life. So fast forward that quite a few years, I got involved in multiple different types of businesses, serial entrepreneur, until the stage I worked in not-for-profit organizations, trying to get the not-for-profit sort of sector to think a little bit more business-like and to really to use their funding well. And eventually I retired after multiple different things back when I was 55. I retired for a total of 2 weeks. Till it drove me insane, like two weeks sitting around doing nothing. And so that's when I launched the whole Unleash and the transformational group of companies. So 3 different companies now. We work, first of all, on the mindset area, helping the people to challenge, understand what they do. The second one is a technology company. And the third one is an outsourcing company to support businesses to be able to get things done. To, as I say, unleash your awesome. So Get your
I love
genius.
it because you made it sure you can do your awesome because you have your resources.
Oh,
right?
yes, that's right. That's the light bulb moment. So, so I keep that light bulb. It's a very much a part of me. Helping people with that light bulb moment, getting their brain to engage, have a bit of strength, courage, and determination to get that and unleash your awesome. So that's my mantra in life. I love it and love what I do.
I love your enthusiasm and your passion, and I really like the fact that you were making it happen. So you were in the business, and then you were like, okay, how can I unleash my own awesome? So I will support myself by creating a system which is already delivering everything what I need to be awesome. So and then you are teaching others to do the same. So I'm like happy. I so admiring you.
I find it. I think it's like a funnel. Like there are so many people out there that there's a lot out there that you might not be able to trust too well, but there's a lot of really good mentors around and lots of really great information. And I don't believe in reinventing the wheel. However, as I say myself, I'm a bit of a funnel. Pour it in the top, and I'll cipher it around and spit out the bottom of the funnel a whole bunch of the gold nuggets that will actually help people to get through it. So I now, I love, as I said, I love to get that done. And a lot of people get caught in the next greatest thing, the next big ad, the next whatever. And it's just, sometimes you just got to sit back and say, what's right for me? What works? Where's the synergies for my values? That's what really gets me excited, is when people see that they don't have to do everything all the time. They just got to do a couple of little bits and pieces and they can make progress.
I think that's very important, and we were talking about this with Charu also this morning, that determination and being consistent with your things, having a system, it's something that can support an entrepreneur, because we don't have as many resources like a big company or a corporate, so we have to be very efficient in our work to make things happen and automate as many things as we can. Like Dimitri will say later, he will come in tonight. This is something that we need to think about. You do your business, you hustle for a while, but at the end, the success will come if you are really organized and you can focus on the things that you really enjoy to do, right?
Absolutely. And I think that's where a lot of business owners go wrong, particularly in those first couple of years. They start grasping and they get a bit desperate, and so they're after the next tool or the next piece of software or the next guru that says they can help you, and they go out and spend lots of money or lots of time, and basically time is money, and they find they're looking for the wrong thing. They've got no thinking, and there's no strategy behind what they're doing. They're just they know what they like to do, they know what their business delivers, but yet they might not necessarily know how to do that. They're good at their own genius, but they need to engage those geniuses around them that will help them take the next step.
Yeah, I really love this fact that you are mentioning it, and you are also optimizing different things. Like you have a system for entrepreneurs, basically, which is helping them, a CRM system, right? That you already created. You showed me around, and it's so amazing. So maybe you can talk a little bit about that. What was the trigger? Why did you create it? And then also, how does it work? How does it function? How does it help the entrepreneurs?
Yeah, well, I think if we go back to understanding the startup of a business, there's a startup phase, there's that growth phase, and then there's the phase where you're looking to succession plan and retire and or do your next thing. And so there is a cycle the business goes through. And so CRM Hub is what it's called, CRM-hub.tech, if you want to go and have a look at it. I'll drop it in the comments a little bit later on, but it's a system that was built out of a passion to have one place that a business owner can go to from startup to, it doesn't matter how big you want to be. And it becomes efficient. And so what happens, I think, in the design of this particular one, it's being built about by, okay, there's certain things that all businesses need, and there's certain things that not all businesses need. However, if you've got one place where you can go and has everything, all right, one dashboard, one thing that actually bolts all those bits and pieces in, and there is other products out there, things like Salesforce, it's an amazing product. However, for the startup business, it's just too expensive for them. And so my aim is to get a platform that's, number one, affordable for the startup business, and it will be the basic pieces that a startup business needs. And then as your business grows, you don't have to go anywhere else. You don't have to go, oh, I'll get this bit of software today and it's not going to work for me next year. And you've got to change it over here, and you've got to update to here. And those update processes are painful, particularly in a CRM. And so that was the philosophy I built it at. And so you can start off with literally just the calendar sort of section, all right? And it's a calendar management, event management, if that's where you want to be, or it's basic marketing, all the way through to project management and lead generation, software. It's the sky's the limit, and it's fully adaptable. So if you've got other programs that no other business has got that you use, you can actually build that into the system so it's fully integrated. So it very much is. We're going through a bit of a thinking process now. Our company is called the Productivity Hub, and so we're looking at changing that because it is now a complete system.
I love it, and it's a bit different from other CRM systems that I have seen until now. It's kind of like integrating even posting and scheduling, which is kind of something that we are always looking up, and integrating many tools. And it's rare to have a system which is so complex, having all the different sides of the business. So I just put the link into the chat, so you will have it on YouTube, crm-hub.tech, and you can check out the functions of the system. But why do you think it's important to have a CRM system at all? Like, if we are not just talking about your system, but in general, why is it important for an entrepreneur, especially a small and medium-sized entrepreneur, to have a system like this?
So when a business gets started, typically everybody starts using Excel spreadsheets or Google Sheets or whatever it might be. And so we store all our data in that sort of thing. But that data is what I call fixed data, or two-dimensional. But you can't do anything with it unless you engage in the data. In other words, I've got this information. Now I'll pick that piece of information out and I'll go over to my email system and send out a message to that person or whatever it might be. So it becomes very time-consuming, right? Even if you're only a small business with a small number of clients, you still need to build an ongoing funnel, an ongoing pipeline of potential new clients if you want to grow, because some of your current clients might disappear. We can't control that. So a CRM is not just a marketing tool, or it shouldn't be just a marketing tool, or you shouldn't think of it as a marketing tool. It is a tool to enhance the way in which you communicate with your prospects, your leads, and your clients, and your past clients. It's to say hello, all right, without you actually getting in there and saying hello, but it does not replace that personal thing of getting on a phone, having a coffee, getting on a video call. It's a tool to enhance the journey, not to replace. And I think that's another trap that a lot of business owners get in when they first get into it. Everything becomes an automation, and the human factor disappears. And I think there's a balance. But why? I'll get back to that. Why? It is something that traps it. And I think for me, I've sold multiple businesses, but when I got my first CRM many years ago, it became the data. So when I wanted to sell the business, everything was there. I didn't have to explain everything. Everything was just there. And so I could sell the business, and the value of my business went through the roof because of that data that was actionable.
Yeah, many people don't think about it. Like, when they start to build a business, they start to build their email list, they start to build a customer base, that this is the most expensive asset that they have, the connections that they build. And I like to look at the CRM like an interactive library, that you are like, okay, these are the guys who are belonging to the romance section. These are the ones who are belonging to the business. And then, you can categorize, and then you can send out messages, and you can build like different pathways, different funnels. And compared to when you don't have a CRM and you have like one big Excel file, you don't know who's unsubscribed, who subscribed, who disappeared, who you can reach out, when did you reach out to them, what did you do with them, you don't even remember. And CRM systems like this can really enhance and simplify and make your work more lean to work with, right?
Absolutely. As well as that, there's one of the parts that we use ours, and we use it for ourselves, is not just for the client side of things. That we've got different partners. We've got different people who I say my cheer squad, my mentors, etc. And so as something happens, they get information about what's happening as well. And now your cheer squad and your partners know what's going on. And so you don't have to think about, oh, did I tell that person? Did I tell that person? Did I tell this person? And now your cheer squad, like as I said, my mentors get all my information. All right. And I don't want to overdo it with anybody. That's a big problem again with CRMs. You just spam the heck out of everybody. Stop it. Just have one email go out a week. 2 emails is about it. That's about all you need to do to keep people in your zone of influence. But for me, the biggest asset I have is people going out, oh, Kel, can I give you a tip on this? Can I give you a tip on that? And that helps because they've got your best interest at heart. So there's so much more that that the CRM can be empowered for if you don't become a control freak and say everything you know is the only way to do things. Absorb
exactly. It's so not working today. I mean, maybe it was working in the past where there was just one solution. The world was very, very slow. But in today's world, when digitalization, too much speaking, is here, and the fast-paced world is just, it's impossible to exist alone and not to take in other advices, inspiration, triggers from outside, right? To stay on the top of the things.
Yeah, exactly. And people going, well, Jules, my emails are getting so much spam and so much of this stuff. I'm only going to open it when I feel like it. All right. It's become less and less used, particularly in the business world, as a way to communicate and access things that you want to access. The data that you want or the conversations that you want, they go off into other platforms to have that. So WhatsApp, we've been communicating through GS through WhatsApp. It's become a very powerful tool for people to create little groups or Facebook groups or whatever it might be. There's a whole bunch of tools out there and options for people. You've got to think to yourself, with a CRM, are you going to go down a line that you're just going to bombard somebody's email or inbox, all right? Or are you going to communicate them in a way that actually engages them? So what are the other channels that you need to consider in that? So there's a lot more just to go, I'll pick a CRM that's cheap. That's a huge problem that I keep on Facebook. Don't go cheap. I'm going to get a free one. Like, there's nothing in this life for free. Let me just tell you, folks, there is
nothing good.
Nothing. There's always a catch, So you get the free one, but then when you go, I need this little piece, and you click on that piece, and all of a sudden it's costing you $1,000 a month, And so those free softwares will get you in the end. So there's nothing for free.
Yeah, I love it. And I love that when you have a CRM, you are not really dependent, because all the data that you store on other places like social media and all this, it belongs to the social media owner, like the big companies that are out there. If you have a CRM managing your own data, it's kind of like not a public open space. It's your own space. You can extract the data whenever you want. It belongs to you. And the CRM owner cannot really take that data and then do something with it, because it's a different kind of business model. So I really love this part of having your own space, managing your own business, getting your database, using it for yourself and for your customers, and not to speak about what you also mentioned, that the emails today, that was my experience in the last 3 years, they just get lost, because I cannot read. If I see someone who I know, I read the email. If I see that thousands of emails are coming into my email box, I just disregard them. I don't even read those emails, even if I signed up for it, because I just don't have time to read 100 emails, right?
Correct. And so what's becoming very, very popular these days, like Facebook groups come out, so WhatsApp groups are great or Messenger groups are great, but people are getting into Facebook groups. That's been a great tool. All right, it's a great concept, but as you said, the unique part is you don't own that data that's in Facebook, and they can turn you off. And the amount of stories that I've heard about this, so it's a great tool for particular purposes. But once you want to start to talk about different topics, if anybody complains about you, now they might be a member of a group, but if anybody complains about you, you lose your group. and it's gone, and all that data's gone. And it takes a lot to try and get something back if you lose it from Facebook. Now, something that I've just adapted, and there's another group, another company, and this is what I like to work. It's not about reinventing the wheel. It's just about creating these partnerships. And so we've just partnered up with another company where you've got groups, and we've got now built into our CRM, so you can create a group, and that group is yours. And our policy is, if you don't like what they're saying in the group, leave the group. And that group content is 100% yours for life. Mm-hmm. Like, nobody's going to turn you off, all right, because it's your group. And so, like, it's just another enhancement that people have got to think about. There is other ways for people. And if people want to connect with you, they will go to that group to find out the information they want.
And you will get only committed members. That's very interesting, because we are always afraid to move people from one platform to the other, right? But actually, those people who move for you from one platform to another one, they will be the committed one. And it's okay to go slow. It's okay to have one committed customer who moves with you, and then later you can build it further and further. I really love this, because in the world of the data misuse, all these things that are happening out there, that the social media sites can be down like just for like like in a second, then groups maybe you cannot access. I couldn't access my page on Facebook, for example, because I have 12,000 followers, and they said, oh, is it really you who is posting in these groups on this page? And I'm like, yeah, I built that page myself in the last 4 years, and I created that 12,000 followers for myself. So sorry, my social media platform, you cannot take that away. And I had to write them like 4 or 5 times, 4 months, 2 months, so that they could release my own page and my community. So this is a danger that no one thinks about, that if the platform is an outsourced platform and it's not an official platform managed by you, then you can lose that data, you can lose it. So make something. If you want to do the group still, you need to have a backup, or you need to have a Excel sheet or a CRM to keep that data with you.
Absolutely, and it's critical. And I come back to, like, a lot of businesses. There's lots of different things you need. Not everybody needs a group. Not everybody needs different pieces. But just do your research at the start and come up with a plan. Sit down, and that's what I love to do. That is probably the number one time that I have with any one person or groups, is sitting down and going, hey, what is it you have? And what is it you actually need? And when I do that, it's surprising. I've had one particular guy. I give this example all the time. He was absolutely overloaded. All right, and I'm out there trying to unleash his awesome, but he was overloaded. And I asked him, so how many applications do you run? Oh, I'm not exactly sure. And I said, okay, let's just stop and count them. 35 different applications he was using. He was not proficient at any of them. And I said, and you're trying to do all this yourself, and you're trying to grow a company. You had 30 odd staff at the time. And I said, how much does that cost? He added it all up. $3,500 a month worth of applications. Half of them he was not using, but he didn't want to let go of it because he thought he might use it in the future. And there's a little bit of data in each of these things. I'm going, mate. I said, how about that $2,500 worth of stuff? We say you can get that for or less than $200, all right? And with the rest of the money, go out and employ somebody to do the rest of the work. I said, now you got freedom.
Yeah.
He just looked at me and he went, sorry? I said, spend the same amount of money you've been doing for the last 2 years, but just spend it wisely and have a person to do all the work for you and spend less money. And he went, can I do that? I said, yeah, sure you can. You just got to have the right strategy. So now, I just seen a post from him only yesterday. He's just run a marathon. He's just done a marathon. He's had the time to train and go and do a marathon that he's been wanting to do for years that he couldn't do because his business had trapped him.
I love this point. And this is something that if you haven't took anything away from this session, guys who are watching, this is something that you need to take away, because we businesses, especially small business owners, do our own self everything from A to Z. especially at the beginning, right? So optimizing it, strategizing it, and saving money is the most important thing. So don't subscribe to all the different things. Don't leave your card on all the open applications to be withdrawn automatically. Check in time to time, what do you really use and what you don't use. It's good to try, but if you don't use the application, then think about it in many years, many months, how much money you are just throwing out of the window that you are subscribed to these applications. So they're a very, very good tip, Cal.
Yeah, and some people go, oh, Jules, I don't know. Like they really don't know. They've got to go and look at their credit card or whatever it might be to find out all the different applications there. And then all of a sudden they go, oh, Jules, I forgot about that one. I forgot about that one because my bookkeeper's been doing the books and I don't see all these different subscriptions coming out. I just keep on paying the bill, you know. And I go, it's really simple to be able to get that. All you got to do is change your credit card. Just give the call to the bank and say, can I get a new credit card? They'll send you a new credit card, which has got a different number. And all of a sudden, all your subscriptions, all right, send you an email saying, hey, the credit card's not working. Now, they're not going to turn you off, but now you can actually select which ones you now really want compared to which ones are just taking your money. A little tip that will save you, and it saves, and that's
save you thousands of dollars.
With Sean, he said, "Oh, I've got 30 odd. I've got to go through and unsubscribe this, and I've got to send an email." I said, "No, you don't. Just one phone call, change your credit card. All right, get a new credit card. When that new credit card comes in, cancel the old one. It's done."
Love the tip. So all your hidden pops and hidden subscriptions will pop up because you don't.
All the hidden subscriptions. All of a sudden, we get an email, and you can make a decision one at a time as they come due. And that way, if you still want it, you've still got it until it becomes due. You're not unsubscribing and trying to go in and unsubscribe when it's not necessarily ready to be unsubscribed. And you can still get the value you've already paid for, but you just don't have to pay again unless you really want to.
Love it, love it. It was so fun talking about unleashing your awesome with you, Cal. I think this was a great morning. We had so many amazing speakers from Charu, Bob, and you are all aligning with the usage of digital media, with using a very clever system with digitalizing, with enhancing other people, by the means that you have of your businesses, like you do it digitally with your CRMs, with your supporting teams. Bob does it with helping people to speak up, with supporting employees, with going around and speaking around the world. And Charu does it with Women Lines online and helping women to succeed in digital media and using it for their personal growth and business growth. So I think, guys, if you want to watch this, do it with a notebook like I do, because it has a lot of golden nuggets, and all of this needs to be implemented to make sure that you are leveling up. So thank you so much, Cal. I always ask everyone at the end of the conversation before we go on our lunch break, what would be the one thing that you would say to people out there in your field of business, in your profession, or in your life? What would be the thing that you would advise people to do nowadays in 2022?
Okay. I think the one tip I could do is do not nickel and dime your growth. And all I mean is do not underestimate the value of spending money that actually will help your business grow. The idea of the free stuff is gone. All right. Don't nickel and dime it. Pick something that works for you. Don't just do it because it's free or it's cheap.
Love it. But do join the Global Empowerment Summit because it's free, because it's sponsored by us.
I'm not saying free things are not always great. It is really about making sure you get value for what you do. Value. Just don't
spend your time valuable. Your short time on earth. Yep. Spend your time valuable with valuable resources, valuable tools, optimized, and spend some time with your family.
I will indeed, mate.
Exactly. Thank you so much for being here. I really enjoyed our conversation, and I will looking forward to see you again tonight, because you are one of the persons who's coming up for the startup panel discussion. So I'm really, really happy to have you there. Have a beautiful day. And out there, the guys, we are going on a lunch break. See you in an hour with Toby about safer entrepreneurship. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.